OnePlus finds itself on the brink of breakthrough, poised to overcome the obstacles that have previously hindered its ascent to the top tier of smartphone manufacturers. Last year, the unexpected success of the OnePlus Open marked a significant turning point, establishing it as the premier foldable phone in the market. And we checked it out for you guys here on the channel a couple of weeks ago, but now, with the OnePlus 12, OnePlus actually has an opportunity to completely take over everything. And it's really exciting. To start, it now features an enhanced Hasselblad camera, upgraded image processing capabilities, and a larger sensor. The OnePlus 12 aims to redefine the standards of smartphone photography. Will it be enough to keep up with the S24 Ultra or even the iPhone 15 Pro Max? Which, by the way, the S24 Ultra is almost double the price of this if you take the trade-in offer into account. $700. That's actually insane. But you know what? The OnePlus 12's design is often overlooked, but it does also deserve praise for its stunning aesthetics. Its circular camera bump, metal trim, and textured casing make it visually appealing and resistant to smudges. Its narrower profile enhances one-handed usability compared to competitors like the Galaxy S24 Ultra or even the iPhone 15 Pro Max. While there are minor design changes such as relocating that silent switch, the overall aesthetic does remain consistent. Also, the inclusion of an IR blaster adds functionality, but at the same time, the increased weight of the OnePlus 12 does make it feel slightly top-heavy compared to its predecessor. Despite this concern, the OnePlus 12's design is still impressive and does deserve attention. At this price point, you get a 6.8 2-inch 2K display that advertises up to 4,500 nits of peak brightness with certain content, which that's okay, I'm not gonna say anything else. That's insane. Okay, we just checked out the S24 Ultra and it peaked out at like 1,300 or 1,400 nits. You're talking about something that's almost 3 times the brightness in a phone that has a bigger battery. And it's smaller with a slimmer profile. There's a lot going on here. Now, during my testing period, I found the Pro XDR display to deliver robust brightness even in direct sunlight, providing crystal clear visibility. While I do remain somewhat doubtful regarding the phone's capability to reach that purported 4,500 nits, I would still be satisfied, like I mentioned, if it did surpass the 1,300 nits that we saw on the OnePlus 12. With a 120Hz refresh rate, the OnePlus 12 proves adept for demanding gaming sessions, ensuring smooth performance even in the most action-packed scenarios. Also, a notable addition to the display is the introduction of the Aqua Touch technology, designed to maintain accuracy even when the screen is wet. This feature proves beneficial for users who, like myself, occasionally use their phones in wet environments such as by the pool, ensuring better sensitivity for seamless interaction. But I will say this, at nighttime, it's not as responsive. For whatever reason, obviously this display has the touch functionality to go ahead and pretty much be used at the pool. If it's completely soaking wet, it's much more responsive than any other phone I've checked out. But at nighttime, it just, like, sometimes it falls apart and doesn't register my fingerprint, which is rather annoying. Now, as for the cameras, OnePlus has historically faced criticism for its camera performance compared to its competitors. But with the OnePlus 12, the company aims to dispel these doubts. Equipped with a triple camera setup featuring the 4th gen Hasselblad camera 4 mobile system, comprising a 50 megapixel main camera, 48 megapixel ultra wide, and a 64 megapixel periscope camera with 3x optical zoom. The OnePlus 12 showcases significant improvements across the board here. The main camera delivers excellent results with sharp details and realistic colors, albeit with minimal disparity compared to its predecessor under good lighting conditions. The ultra-wide camera also performs admirably, particularly in high-contrast scenes. And then you have the front-facing camera, which does capture realistic skin tones, a noticeable enhancement over previous models. I will say that the warmer colors of the OnePlus 12 do look better in certain scenarios versus my iPhone 15 Pro Max. In some scenarios, I don't like it at all. It just depends on the lighting conditions, the contrast, the saturation. There's a ton of stuff going on sometimes in photos, and the OnePlus 12 sometimes does really well, and sometimes I prefer the iPhone 15 Pro Max just a bit more. But at the same time, I also prefer the little copyright sign that you get with this from Hasselblad on your photos. It's a nice touch. Looks a bit more professional. The standout improvement though lies in the 64 megapixel periscope camera, which offers a 3x optical zoom, delivering sharper and more detailed images compared to the OnePlus 11's 2x zoom. Low light performance is improved, albeit with a tendency to underexpose scenes and cast warmer tones like I just mentioned. However, noise reduction and detail preservation are commendable here, but I will say that I still take the iPhone 15 Pro Max versus this phone in terms of low light performance. The iPhone beats this, it beats the S24 Ultra, but at the same time, I kind of got a preview of what this camera is capable of, because it's pretty much the same camera that you see in the OnePlus Open that we checked out a few weeks ago. Another thing, when it comes to macro shots, I feel like the iPhone 15 Pro Max definitely outperforms the OnePlus 12 and the S24 Ultra in this department, especially when it comes to lower light scenarios. Video recording capabilities, on the other hand, include 8K resolution, providing flexibility for post-production editing. The captured videos exhibit crisp details and moderate exposure adjustment, though preset zoom options would enhance that user experience overall. Furthermore, for me, 24 FPS is the wrong frame rate, so I can't use 8K on this phone. I prefer 30 FPS. Everything I shoot is either 30 or 60 FPS. At the same time, you do get a rolling shutter in this, just like you do with the S24 Ultra, more than what I see in the iPhone at 4K. That was my personal opinion. But at nighttime, for some reason, the iPhone 15 Pro Max looked like it was lagging a bit when it came side by side versus the OnePlus 12 in 4K 30 and 4K 60, which I don't know. I feel like the iPhone 14 Pro looked a lot better at nighttime when it came to video recording capabilities. I feel like the software is doing a bit too much on the iPhone, and it's kind of making it look laggy, as you guys will see in this video that I just threw up on the screen. I will say this though, the OnePlus 12's camera system does mark significant progress over its predecessor, reaffirming its strength in the smartphone market. However, it does fall short in embracing AI-assisted photo and video editing features, a trend prevalent in other flagship devices like the S24 Ultra that we just reviewed. Next up, let's get into performance on this phone. It's similar to what we saw on the OnePlus Open, but a bit better. While it's not the first to feature Qualcomm's latest Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset, the OnePlus 12 still impresses with its performance capabilities. Powered by this chipset, the device delivers smooth and responsive operations aided by its 120Hz refresh rate, which does enhance fluidity in animations, especially when gaming. Benchmark tests, on the other hand, confirm the OnePlus 12's prowess in graphics processing, achieving an impressive average of 117 frames per second in the 3D Mark Wildlife Unlimited test, surpassing competitors like the iPhone 15 Pro and Galaxy S23 Ultra. Geekbench scores further highlight its performance with single and multi-core scores of 2188 and 6525 respectively. However, rendering a video in Adobe Rush Premiere took me around a minute and 10 seconds, trailing behind the competition for me. Despite benchmark scores, real-world performance here shines through as the OnePlus 12 handles graphically intensive tasks like gaming very smoothly. While synthetic benchmarks provide valuable insights, the device's everyday usage demonstrates its capability without any noticeable throttle or lag. But you know what, let's go ahead and cover one of the most interesting features of the OnePlus 12 here, and it's battery life. If you want to call it a feature, it absolutely destroys the competition. We just checked out the S24 Ultra and the battery life was like 15-16 hours, which was more than the 14 hours and change that we saw on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. This is like almost 18 hours of battery life. After my second day, I still have 10 or 15% left. And then the recharge time on this, actually insane. It's got a 50-watt fast charging when it comes to wireless charging on this phone. And then it goes from 0 to 100% in like 30 minutes, which is crazy. You could hop in the shower real quick, hop out, and you got 75% on your phone if it's dead. The iPhone 15 Pro Max and S24 Ultra don't even come close to this. In my battery benchmark, the OnePlus 12 achieved an astounding runtime of 17 hours and 55 minutes, eclipsing the OnePlus 11's performance and establishing itself as the flagship model with the best battery life to date. Additionally, the OnePlus 12 showcases enhancements in its charging capabilities. Notably, like I mentioned, the device demonstrates impressive recharge times. This remarkable endurance can be attributed in part to the improved power efficiency of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset, a trait also observed in the tests of the Galaxy S24 Ultra's battery. But you know what, it's not perfect. One area I feel like OnePlus does need to work on is the Oxygen OS, which by the way currently lacks standout features seen in competitors like the Pixel 8 and Galaxy S24. While still offering a clean and modern interface with unique features such as the smart sidebar for quick app access, Oxygen OS falls short in delivering compelling AI capabilities. But you know what, to address this gap, OnePlus is collaborating with Google to introduce AI features to the OnePlus 12. Notably, Magic Compose, developed by Google, will leverage generative AI to offer personalized message suggestions similar to what we saw in the Galaxy S24's Chat Assist feature. But in my testing, there were instances where I feel like the S24 Ultra is so much snappier than the OnePlus 12 that we have here. Comparing certain apps like the camera app, for example, if I'm trying to take a burst shutter of photos, I feel like the S24 Ultra is way more responsive than the OnePlus 12. You can't burst as many photos on this phone as you do with the S24. And also when it comes to shifting between apps, I feel like the S24 Ultra is just way more snappier for me. And then you also have the graphics on the front of these phones. I feel like they're a bit outdated. If you guys notice with the S24 Ultra, when I'm listening to music at times, it does have a wave going on as an equalizer with certain phones. Little things like that, little updates make it seem much more intuitive and much more realistic to me, and it makes it look like a much more compelling futuristic phone. But this one, I feel like it falls back a little bit when it comes to that department. So the Oxygen OS definitely needs an improvement on this. Most of the stuff could be fixed with future software updates. It's just something worth mentioning. I prioritize value when making purchasing decisions, and the OnePlus 12 without a doubt delivers. Despite its shortcomings in that AI department, its affordability, coupled with its new features, places it as the flagship phone to beat once again. This makes it an attractive option for budget-conscious consumers seeking a premium smartphone experience without the usual hefty price tag. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I absolutely love this phone, but I love the OnePlus Open a lot more, which is technically the same phone, just a foldable version, right? I really like that phone because it's changed my life. My productivity has gone through the roof with the OnePlus Open and the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Those are the two phones that I'm rocking currently out in today's markets. But even though this has a few bugs and no AI, when you think about it this way, it's almost half the price of the S24 Ultra. It's absolutely insane. $700 for this if you take that trade-in factor into account. I don't care what the S24 Ultra has, the AI features on that are going to be something that they're going to charge us for in the future, which is something I spoke out against in my previous video. I feel like this is an absolute steal, and it's one of the best phones you can pick up out in today's market. I also like the colorway on this. Reminds me of a granite countertop that I had in the 70s before I was born, before my family thought about having me. Okay, I'm just rambling at this point. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Let me know down below where you'll also find the links to everything that we covered in today's episode. If you want to see more, make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DetroitFury. And if you enjoy this content, please make sure you smash that like button for me, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in my next episode. Peace.